All right, so let's talk through this the right way, right? Honestly, analytically, and without hiding from what happened on Thursday afternoon. I was so wrong about Thursday's game against San Antonio, just flat out wrong. And when you're in this space, right? When you break down games, when you trust trends, when you build logic instead of vibes, that kind of loss, it doesn't just sting. It kind of, it humbles you. But I know I wasn't alone in thinking this pathway. Oklahoma City was 14-0 at home. It was Christmas. It felt like a revenge spot. The number was big, but it made sense, or at least we thought that it did. Instead, the Thunder didn't just fail to cover; they lost outright by 15 points. And San Antonio didn't steal this game; they controlled it. And I think that's the part that matters. The Spurs have the Thunder blueprint right now. They've proven in 3 times in 12 days they're not intimidated by Oklahoma City's pressure. They don't rush, they don't panic. They space the floor, they collapse on SGA without giving up the corners, and they turn Oklahoma City into a jump shooting team. And the Thunder don't want to live that way. And when Oklahoma City shoots 39% from the field and 25% from three-point range, you're not going to cover a 9.5-point spread, and you're really not winning that game. I think the other thing you look at when figuring out what went wrong on Thursday is we leaned too hard on the quote home fortress idea that 14-0 record, it didn't protect Oklahoma City. It inflated the line there, and we underestimated De'Aaron Fox, who carved the Thunder up efficiently. I kind of thought the Chet versus Wemby matchup would tilt more one way, but the truth is Wemby, his defensive gravity bent the entire floor. And most importantly, I think I underestimated how quickly San Antonio has mastered Oklahoma City's own pressure principles. So, yeah, that's the third loss to the Spurs. It matters, but not because it defines Oklahoma City. It matters because of what comes next for the Thunder. Because now you're looking at a game Sunday that is a different conversation entirely. Let's talk about the Thunder versus Philadelphia. And let me tell you why this is a true reset game. This isn't just another regular season matchup. This is a response test. Oklahoma City now sits 26-5 on the season, but they're 2-4 in the last 6 games. However, the market is still pricing them like a team that they were like a month ago, not the team that's been forced to adjust in real time that we've seen over the last week and a half, 2 weeks. And that creates opportunity because Philadelphia comes into this game at 16-12, and everything around this matchup, in my opinion, hinges on one name, Joel Embiid. Right now, it looks like Embiid is going to be doubtful. I'm recording this 6:45 Eastern time, Saturday night. That's why it's hard to find spreads on this game. You got knee management going on. There's an illness, heavy minutes recently, visibly labored against Chicago the other night. And if Embiid doesn't play, this game fundamentally changes. Without Embiid, the Sixers defense goes from top 10 to bottom third. Their rim protection collapses. Their margin for error just flat out disappears. And that's exactly where Oklahoma City thrives. This is a revenge and reset spot in every sense of the term. The Thunder just lost their first home game of the season. SGA publicly challenged the locker room. Mark Daigneault has had 48 hours to let the loss from Christmas Day sit. And elite teams, they don't lose back-to-back games at home very often. And typically, when they lose one game, the response is usually violent. So tactically, this matchup favors Oklahoma City in ways that the San Antonio game didn't. I think first you look at transition. The Thunder lead the league in points off turnovers and steals. Philadelphia, especially if they're without Embiid anchoring the middle, they get loose with the ball. Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, they are dynamic scorers, but they also average north of 14 turnovers combined when forced to create their own shots under pressure. If that number holds, Oklahoma City is going to run them out of the building. It's going to be a score fest. I think the second thing you look at with this matchup is what happens on the perimeter. Maxey is electric. Paul George is still dangerous, even if his efficiency has dipped. You got to look at rookie VJ Edgecombe. He's been a revelation for the 76ers, but none of them have faced a defensive ecosystem like Oklahoma City. This is a system that doesn't gamble recklessly, but collapses space one pass at a time. So expect Dagnall to trap Edgecombe early, force decisions, make Philly's secondary players beat them. And that's where the games like this are going to tilt. I think the third thing, and this is huge, is the energy gap. San Antonio wasn't emotional. They were surgical. Philadelphia is not that team. The 76ers, they're walking into Paycom Center after Oklahoma City's first home loss of the season. The Thunder have an MVP caliber player demanding accountability and a fan base expecting a response. So all of that matters as well. So let's talk numbers. This is a game where the early line has Oklahoma City at about 7.5. If Embiid is ruled out officially, that number likely jumps to 9 or maybe even 10. This is the kind of spot where you buy early, not late. Right? Philly's solid on the road, but they haven't faced a top-tier Western Conference team, especially without Embiid in weeks. So the total sits here around 228.5, and I actually like the over here. Not because Philly's offense is going to dominate, but because Oklahoma City's pace and transition scoring will dominate. Without Embiid, the Sixers struggle to protect the paint, and Oklahoma City is the second highest scoring offense in the league. So this becomes a Chet Holmgren game, and you're probably looking at Andre Drummond likely starting if Embiid sits. That pulls Chet away from the rim defensively, but it gives him a massive advantage in speed, spacing, and perimeter shooting. So keep an eye on Chet's points plus rebound, those prop type things. This is a sneaky value spot for him. Now, here's an honest projection. This isn't about Oklahoma City proving they're perfect. It's about them proving that they can respond. San Antonio exposed a weakness. Philadelphia presents a chance to reinforce strengths. I like Oklahoma City to cover at 7.5. I like the over in this game. I like this game to reestablish who controls terms when the Thunder are able to dictate pace. Final score, let me go Oklahoma City 124, Philadelphia 112. I think you look back one more time. At Thursday, it was a reminder that no trend is bulletproof. All right. Sunday is going to be a reminder that elite teams don't spiral, they recalibrate. And this Thunder team has earned the benefit of believing that a response is going to come next. And I think we're going to see that play out Sunday afternoon in the Paycom Center.